This is your forecast.
That was so lame. Come on, do a better one than that.
This is your forecast.
Maybe it is.
That's
like
how I
that.
always do
Is
it.
it always like that?
There it is, baby.
Got it.
I want to talk about is who's the number 2 pick. I think the number one pick's pretty much going to be JT.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely the one in almost every format in rookie draft
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
So, first of all, let's say, is there any way he's not the consensus
Yes.
number 1?
Yes.
Okay.
After the draft, he goes to some team that did not need a running back.
So he's going to be probably top 10. So what team would that be? Like,
Let's say the Jets. I don't think they would do that, but Jets.
Yeah, I've seen
so if the Jets take
I've seen it mocked before.
Yeah.
if the Jets take him, and then I don't know, one of the Ohio State running backs go to like Dallas,
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe people are thinking,
Maybe.
I still don't think that the pick wouldn't be Jainty. I think what would happen is you'd see a lot of people willing to trade out of the pick all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Like people are like, no, I'm not into that. And if that happens, I think you should probably try to buy the pick. If people are like, it's one of those things where, like I always say it about Josh Allen, Lamar, Jamar Chase. People are like looking to buy low on those guys. You don't get a buy low. Your buy low is the person who's willing to let go of them.
yeah,
Like that's, you're just lucky that that's the case in your league at that moment. You should probably capitalize if you can make it work.
Yeah.
I watched it. Yeah, he's going to be good. I don't think there's any question.
Yeah, he's gonna be awesome.
But after Genty though, like the second pick right now is we were talking about is so much up in the air. It could be you could go with Ted. We've always been talking about Superflex leagues. Any one of them, I think 3 quarterbacks or 4 quarterbacks could be the number 2, depending on where they go.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen surprises come draft day before. As soon as last year, looking back, I don't think anybody expected Michael Penix to go number 8.
Yeah.
Most people didn't even see him as a first-round pick, maybe a late one.
Yeah.
And Bo Nix was, 12 to Denver or something? I think, that was the only spot people thought that had a chance of taking him in the first round. So if he didn't go there, I think most people didn't expect him to go in the first.
Yeah.
But obviously, that's just where the mocks and what's actually happening. There's smoke screens flying around all the time. So
Well, I think it's fair to assume that there's going to be 2 quarterbacks in the top 10.
yeah, Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, I think are pretty safe bets.
Yeah.
And Cam Ward's gaining like a lot of steam right now. Good momentum just from everything that's coming out. The Giants have talked about trading up for him. The Raiders have talked about trying to trade up for him. So it looks like he's going to go number 1. And if he goes number 1, if any quarterback goes number 1, they're at least in the conversation for the first and second overall pick for sure in a Superflex league. Obviously this year with Jainty, it's kind of like the Bijan year where it's like, listen, he's just so good.
Yeah.
You just skip the value of the quarterback and you take the player.
Mm.
So it sounds like basically the discussion would be let's say Tet goes to the Patriots. I think he should be in the conversation with that.
Number 2.
Just because he's taken so high.
For sure, yeah. If he's a top 10 pick, I think he's definitely...
I just looked at one. He's 4.
Yeah.
That's the Patriots, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's New England. Yeah, it's a good landing spot because they're desperate for weapons. Like long-term shelf life. I mean, if he hits the ceiling that, everybody sees on film and raves about, and he's projected to run low 4.4s now all of a sudden, I didn't think that was a possibility. If he does that and has, top 5 draft capital, I think I would take him over Cam Ward right now. That's where I would be.
I think my number 2, especially because I don't think any team doesn't need Ashton Genty, but I think after that you kind of just got to look at your team needs.
Right.
Like if you need a wide receiver that needs to start this year, then yeah, I think you're probably going like Ted.
Right.
And then, but I think just for value wise, I've always been quarterback. I think I would go Cam Ward. I think he's the most actual NFL ready. Like he's played 4 years, right?
Yes.
So I feel like he's NFL ready, and no matter what, he's gonna start on that team day 1. So that's why I feel like you got the most. It's the safe pick, and it's like, yeah, you're gonna get your value.
That's who you already took in our highlight.
I know. Well,
So
I'm not switching up. Sorry.
I think I took Ollie Gordon.
You did take
I'm
Ollie.
definitely not taking Ollie Gordon.
Not number two.
Now that I've done a little more research. I was thinking there might be a running back possibly that could sneak into that conversation.
For sure.
If
Absolutely.
one of the Ohio State running backs, the Vikings could take a running back. They're probably like number
'Omarion
20.
Hampton's the guy that I see a lot as well as the second running back off the board from UNC.
But
Him and
I would say the team would be the Vikings. I think if the Vikings take a running back.
I don't know if I like the Vikings as much as the Chargers.
Or the, well,
Chargers.
yeah, Chargers, yeah.
That would probably be
Yeah,
my favorite.
I feel
landing
like there's
spot
a good
for
amount of
running back.
teams. There's a good amount
But yeah,
of teams.
like
that-
I mean, there's legitimately 3 teams that are desperate for running back help,
Yeah.
and like you said, Vikings, Dallas, and the Chargers. I think are all at least possibilities for running backs to go in the first
Yeah.
round. And if you have running back with first round draft capital, that's
Yeah.
just as good as top 5 for 10.
Yeah.
So it
is, yeah.
does come down to like you said about team need.
yeah.
You know, if I already have, if I'm sitting here waiting for Christian McCaffrey to come back and I have James Conner and Brees Hall,
Yeah.
I'm not drafting a running back. Like I'm going to
Right.
take a Ted or something. I don't want that much running back value on my team.
Right.
But the reverse can be the same. You know, if Brandon Ayuk's on my bench and I can't even get him in my lineup, I'm not drafting Ted.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
Out of these mid-first round teams, which running back do you want to see go? Like, which running back would you be excited to take to go to Chargers? Is that the guy, the UNC guy?
yeah, Hampton's probably the guy for me. It's tough because I'll say this: I was really, really high on Quinshon Judkins. In the last month or so, I don't know what's changing my mind, and I feel like I'm just watching too many other people talk about stuff. But now I'm in love with Travion Henderson too. Like he's right there for me.
That's the worst part about the draft, dude.
Well, and they're just such different backs. Like
Yeah.
Judkins is such a 3-down back who can do a little bit of everything, and he still has some good burst.
Mhm.
But those long ones, like he's not breaking off 50-yarders. He just doesn't have that kind of agility and
Yeah.
endurance. Whereas Henderson is a house call,
yeah.
and it's really fun to watch. So if he goes to the Vikings, you know that's an offense I think you can't afford to put 8 in the box against Minnesota. You just can't do it. Unless JJ McCarthy is awful, you know, and I don't know. I don't think he's going to be. It's hard to be awful with Justin Jefferson, Kevin O'Connell, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson. We've seen a lot of awful quarterbacks be pretty darn good there.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, I'm talking myself into the Vikings right now. Honestly, I like the Chargers because of the ground and pound, but I don't think there's enough weapons there to make me confident that I'm going to get friendly looks at running back.
Yeah.
So I do like that about the Vikings, but Hampton is still my 2, but Henderson's climbing up.
I think it's really biased of me because I'm an Ohio State fan, but obviously Judkins and Henderson. If one of those go to a team that needs a running back, I'm probably going with them.
Yeah.
I've watched the most of them, and people like C.J. Stroud and Chris Olave. I watched them in college, and I was like, dude, I don't really like them. You know, I don't like what they're doing, and well, maybe I should stay away.
Yeah, I was saying maybe.
Yeah,
what
maybe
we're seeing
the
is
opposite.
Jake doesn't have the eye test.
Yeah, so, but yeah, I looked at him. I'm watching him play, and I'm like, dude, just give him the ball every time.
Oh yeah,
Just-
there was no reason to. I mean,
Yeah.
like you said, you watched it all year. They didn't pass the ball that much.
Yeah.
Not as much as you think when they have the best receiver in the nation as well.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Stacked offense. Lots of good skill players for Ohio State.
And you guys already know I'm one of those people where I want to like my players. If I like my players, so if I pick an Ohio State boy, then that's why I like J.K. Dobbins.
There's one more name that I would like to at least bring up because I've always been of the opinion that spending your first round pick in a rookie draft on a tight end is not a smart pick. But now the last 2 years, we've seen the top 2 finishers at tight end be rookies.
Mm-hmm.
So Bowers and Laporta, and obviously Bowers was drafted in the first round in I'd say 80% of leagues and 12-team leagues. He wasn't in ours. He was an early second, which incredible value, obviously.
Yeah.
But if Tyler Warren's a top 10 pick, you know, that's the highest since Kyle Pitts for a tight end.
Yeah.
And he's, you know, that level of prospect. You know, people rave about Tyler Warren and what he can do. Does he get any consideration at pick 2 for you guys?
That's incredible draft capital for a tight end.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's actually unheard of.
I don't think I'm doing it.
No?
It's like that thing where it's like you don't follow the points because let's say you're having a tough time starting Devontae Smith. And you're like, well, he just got 5 or he just got 25 points. gotta play him this week, right?
Yeah, you don't chase the dragon.
Yeah, and then you put him in and he gets 6 points. You know, I feel like there's some level to that where I'm thinking it's gonna end at some point.
Yeah, I'm mostly playing devil's advocate here. My real question is, would you guys spend the first on him?
Yeah, I'd spend the first on him.
And I'm coming around to that. Like, I mean, I showed you guys my mock and we did ours, and he was a first for me. And I've just kind of taken a step back, and like, it's a total switch up for me to feel that way about a tight end after how I felt the last few years. And I don't know if that's the NFL changing, or if it's just, you know, college football changing, and these guys are more pro ready than they've ever been before. But it's something for me to pay attention to because there's multiple tight ends that are mocked in the first round of the NFL draft this year. I think I'm taking a little bit of that. I think before I'm not spending a first on him. The same reason I didn't go on Brock Bowers. But like, I think that now it's like kind of seeing like, okay, these teams are using their rookie tight ends more. Right.
I think that was a big thing too before, is that if you're getting drafted as a tight end, you're not really seeing the field a lot.
Won't be there most likely.
Now I'm thinking like maybe I should go on these guys a little bit.
Landing spot to me is a big deal.
Yeah.
Bigger deal for tight end. I say that, but I remember hearing you guys say, man, the Raiders took Brock Bowers, dude. That sucks so bad. And I'm like, now I'm looking at it like, maybe we don't know as much as we think we do when it comes to that.
To be fair, I was saying that after I drafted Michael Mayer. So like, I'm still butthurt about it.
But at the same time, Michael Mayer was the highest drafted tight end in his draft class a year prior.
Yeah.
Like, he was a second round pick. So
like one of the first ones in second.
Kincaid? Is he higher than Kincaid?
I believe he was.
Kincaid was the first round.
No, yeah, you're correct. Kincaid
so
was
the first.
Right
I
forgot about that. Yeah. He was early second, right in there with, I think Laporta was in that range as well. But yeah, it's a different league, man. It's ever changing.
To answer your question is, yes, on a first round pick, not the number 2. That's way too high for a tight end.
Tight end premium leagues, if you get up to like
tight end premium.
1.5 tight end premium, I'm probably still not doing it. But if you get up to like 1.75 or 2, I'm hammering him at 2, and he's getting 1 consideration of the 2 point premium.
Yeah, just for a conclusion on the number 2 for me, it's going to be hard for me not to take Ted there.
Yeah.
He's
a lot of fun to watch. And
Ted's my pick too.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one right now, I'm going Ted.
I hate to follow you because you're like, oh yeah, I love Ted, you know, and then I'm watching him like,
he's got unreal skills, man.
Yeah.
Like, just the coordination is insane. Like, I feel like, you know, any receiver in the NFL could do like these viral videos that have been happening with Ted catching balls one hand behind his back and all this crazy stuff. But they're not posting clips of it. He is. Like, I mean, he might not be posting it, but people are posting clips of it, and it's damn impressive.
Yeah.
So
it's like fun. It's fun. It's
exactly. Like, I already knew just watching highlights and a little bit of film, and you know, looking into some of the deeper metrics. Like, I already liked him. But then you just see stuff like this. He's like, oh yeah, he's a real likable guy. Like, I'm into that.
That's not even the thing for me. As impressive as all that stuff is, but like for me, it's how open the guy gets.
Yeah,
the guy is so fluid of an athlete, being as tall as he is and big he is.
Big.
Yeah, so that's my pick. You're going with Cam Ward. I'm going with Ted.
Yeah, I think I'm going with Cam Ward.
There you go.
I'm a QB. I'm a sucker for QBs. So.
I don't blame you, man.